Former President Trump is expected to answer questions under oath today. It's for a deposition in the defamation lawsuit filed by writer E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah, in the suit, Carroll claims Trump raped her in a New York department store in the 1990s. Trump has denied the allegations, saying, quote, "She's not my type." He accused Carroll of making up the claim to sell her book. Carroll is now suing Trump for defamation.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos joins us now to talk about the case and the potential risks that Trump is facing. Danny, good morning to you. So Trump's deposition, it's happening today, we think, despite his best efforts to try and delay it. So first, what's the purpose of this deposition and what is each side hoping to accomplish with it?
This deposition has nothing to do with January 6th or efforts to subvert the election. It's a straight-up torts case, defamation and other torts against the president. So the scope of the deposition is going to be narrow. And I say that given that the rules of depositions allow for very broad questioning, I still would expect Trump's attorneys to keep a tight hold on this case, on this deposition, and not let the questioning delve into areas that don't have anything to do with this particular lawsuit. If Trump's attorneys are successful, they keep it very narrow today.
So, Danny, there's a February court date on the books, but at the same time, a federal appeals court is still deciding whether the case should be thrown out altogether. So walk us through, how's this work? Will court proceedings move forward while we're awaiting a ruling from that appeals court? And what is that going to look like at the appeals court, considering that?
This is what the Trump legal team does best. And I got to tell you, sometimes it works for them. When you think about how long they delayed the Summer Zervos lawsuit, for example, that lawsuit, I understand, has now been dropped. So mission accomplished for the Trump defense team. Here, too, they are appealing and seeking to appeal. They also seek to appeal and stay the proceedings below while they appeal. That's very critical because that is the masterstroke of delay tactics, in that if you delay the lower proceedings while you're on appeal, then you can hold the plaintiff off effectively forever.
So, Danny, aside from this defamation lawsuit, Carroll's attorney says she's planning on taking even more legal action against Trump. What are we hearing about that?
This is an interesting thing. I have a few of these cases under the Child Victims Act, which was a law passed in New York back in 2019 that opened up the window and gave people a second chance to file lawsuits for sexual assault type cases. There's a new statute that goes into effect in November 24th. Now, it's a good thing that these statutes are reopened, giving people a chance to file again, but it doesn't solve the problem of the burden of proof. It doesn't make it any easier to prove these cases. And the challenge is with any case where you allege things that happened decades ago is meeting your burden of proof. I mean, you just didn't have GPS systems. You didn't have cell phones or electronic data the way we do now. Proving something that happened several decades ago is difficult, whether or not you have a statute of limitations. If you file the case, you still have to prove it. So if Carroll files this case she's planning to file, she still has to prove it. And these cases, I can tell you from personal experience, are not easy.
All right, Danny, appreciate your expertise. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.